Welcome to the Carl Farbman Hot Sauce Chug. It's the show that's just like that other show, except it's not that show. It's the Carl Farbman Show. Oh, right. Oh, so we're back. Today my guests are, we have the Tulameen and District Fire Department, the hot chicks. we have the chief, and Lisa's back again. You'll remember Lisa. She's the voice in the back of the season 1 episode with Tulameen and District Fire Department. And we got a nice platter of food from the Copper Pit.
The Copper Pit. The Copper Pit.
Okay, let's go ahead and do a couple of questions.
Okay, ready.
That little conversation about that was one of the funniest parts, was when you explained to Brian why, or you were asking him. He had said, why he came to, why do you come to Tulameen?
Oh, yeah, and he said for peace and quiet. And I was like, tell him the real story.
Come on. What would make you go that much further out?
Just peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet? Mm-hmm. Even further away?
Well, I met...
Why did you come to Tulameen, Brian?
I might have met the wife.
Okay, so we know what your role is here today, is keeping Brian honest. And you know, that episode has got the most, I mean, it just zoomed right up. I mean, right in the first night, it already had beaten out every other metrics that had been on every other show.
You have quite a following.
And just within a few days, it went up and went past any other reviews that we had had.
I was just having a good time.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah.
And of course, the voluntsplained or voluntold.
He wasn't voluntold to join the department. He wanted to come.
So what was it that made you volunteer for the fire department?
Well, after I met my fine lady up here, she was a new member of the fire department.
So you were in the fire department first?
And I got.
And then you told him he had to do it.
I got voluntold a few times. It's
my wife volunteered me first.
Before I became a member, so that just seemed like it was the right thing to do.
Well, it's a solid decision, I think.
You got to ride in squad and use the spray cans in the parade.
Yeah,
and
he
everything
was in
like
the parade with the spray cans, and he had a great. He wanted to join.
You guys want to keep eating? Or?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to eat it all. Just eat whatever you want. That one's got the bacon on it. You want to get that?
Yeah.
Well, is that what is that? Jalapeno in there?
Yeah, jalapeno.
Really
rich.
How about that? And Quigley. Want another French fry, man? There you go. You have to smell it. Make sure it's safe. He's a weirdo. Most dogs would just run away.
My dog would eat it so fast.
Yeah, just stand there and, well, something small. I mean, he has done that. He'll just stop and eat it right on the spot. Actually, this one's starting to grow on me.
Brian brought the Climax hot sauce to a hunting trip.
Oh, yeah. Give it to his friends.
With all of his friends. There's like next to nothing left in the
Really?
bottle. They loved it.
Oh, is that right?
Get a bunch of guys together, and it's a big challenge, right?
That too, yeah. Oh, yeah? I'll drink the wrong bottle.
So any other fire departments get back on you? Are you back to you on doing the
No,
challenge?
no, not yet.
We've heard inklings that maybe Princeton was thinking about it.
Yeah, that's and of course Christmas everybody gets sidetracked, so I'm waiting until after we get through Christmas
After
here.
Christmas.
I'm gonna go and hunt them down. I mean, I have them on the hook, I'm sure. So all I have to do is reel them in. I had mentioned that in the episode about Deadwood
Oh yeah.
and the way they I mean, there was a particular part where one guy wanted a fire brigade, and in order to, a lot of things that got done, people were influenced by either violence or in other different ways.
Yeah.
So in those days, even though there were small communities, back then there always seemed a few people that were less than enjoyable to have around.
I call them the characters of Colmont and Tulameen.
Is there some still sticking around? Back then, these guys carried guns, so they would just shoot people for no reason, right? That's the kind of people I was talking about in Deadwood. That we don't have that these days. We still have people that are, not really community minded. They're just there to. I'm not asking you guys anything.
Notice I'm not answering.
Nobody wants
No
to
comment.
answer. No comment
No
about those.
comment.
Fire chief.
I wouldn't have put it in there anyway.
I know way too much.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Your fifth generation in
So,
Tulameen?
All of my family was either born and raised in Princeton or Merritt.
Oh, is that right?
Us, my part of the family, my brother and sisters and I were born all over the province, but the main core of the Woodfords have been here for many generations.
Really? There you go.
Yeah.
So you're
So they were here before they were actually involved. My great uncles and that were
So where were you born?
Terrace,
Oh, okay.
and then we were raised in the Yukon. So
Oh.
yeah, we lived 12 years in a school bus.
So technically your family is
Yeah, got deep roots.
Deep roots, but you were transplanted via your roots.
Yep. Father took us. He was a heavy equipment operator, and we traveled all over wherever the work was. So,
There you go.
and then we just go from the school bus onto another school bus, go to school wherever we were that year or that day. Yeah.
And I interrupted you. We were talking about aunts and uncles.
Yeah, my aunts and uncles. My uncles they used to live during the war. They were in the camps along. They were part of the survey teams that were going in to mark out the Hope Princeton Highway. So they've been here
really?
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in Colmont for 40 years.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
When the school bus engine went, that's where we ended up. Actually, the engine broke down in Princeton, and then eventually that was the very first house that my parents had ever bought was in Colmont. Because we were always on the road.
Interesting.
Yep.
We didn't even ask you that either.
What? Where am I from?
Yeah.
I'm from the Lower Mainland. I grew up in Mission,
Oh, Mission. Okay.
Yeah.
So were you born in Mission?
Maple Ridge.
Maple Ridge. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up there, and then I moved here to Tulameen in 2017.
Well, your mom lives in Princeton or Tulameen?
They followed me.
They followed you. Everybody followed you.
I moved up here, and then my parents moved to Princeton to be close, and then me and Brian met, but that's why I thought it was funny what he said about the show, because our first date, he came to Tulameen to go snowmobiling with me, and it was his first time snowmobiling, so I took him snowmobiling for his first time, and that's how we met. That was our first date.
So Are you a cat person or a dog person?
I have a cat. A cat.
You have a cat.
Yep.
You don't like neither of them, though.
I grew up with lots of animals.
Oh, yeah.
So, but,
That's still not answering my question. You're very evasive.
Well, somebody gave me a kitten and that. But there was a short time there where I wasn't going to have any more animals because I'm so busy. But the neighbor brought down a kitten, and Whiskey is his name. And yeah.
The cats chose you.
Yes.
So, well, I guess that would make it. But do you have a preference? Would you rather have a dog?
My niece keeps on trying to get me to get a Dalmatian. But
Oh, yeah.
Dalmatian for the fire
For
department.
the fire department, that would make sense.
yeah. Anything I would have, I would love. But,
Yeah.
And I know you've got both.
Yeah, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
And what's your preference?
You know, I used to be the crazy cat lady back in the day. I think my parents have 2 of my cats, and I have 2 cats still. But I love my dogs. I love my dogs.
Dogs are, well, human beings and dogs end up having this connection, this relationship that's much different than cats.
Here in Tulameen, it's a strong community. When it comes to fire, we rely on the brave men and women of the Tulameen District Fire Department. Tulameen District Fire Department. Tulameen District Fire Department.
we're fundraising.
Oh,
for
yeah, let's talk about the calendar. This is a good
Yeah.
thing. Let's pull one of those out.
We're ready.
The calendar. This one's mine. Woohoo! And then each one has a photo in it and the calendar on each one of them.
Yeah, each one has a photo from different. They're mostly photos that we firefighters or the chief has taken ourselves,
Yeah.
and then the front 2 were taken by a professional photographer.
Right.
But yeah, just scenery from around the area and
And so,
firefighters.
and they're fundraising. This is to put it's a new roof
Yeah,
Yes.
on building number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same ideas that we had when we fundraised and worked really hard to build a Comont fire hall.
Right.
We just put it out to the public, and then we just move forward with it. And so this is a new project.
Oh, okay.
We did the same thing with the side-by-side. You can see a picture in June there. That it was the same thing. We had a lot of rescue calls, so
I'll
we
put it right
fundraised
up on
for
June.
that.
there you go.
We did a fundraise on that.
All right. So we can put the email address
Mm-hmm.
if somebody wanted to make a donation.
A lot of people just come to the fire hall and pick up their
Yeah,
calendars.
they come. Yeah, that's right.
We brought 10 calendars for you.
Yeah, calendars here. If people
Yeah.
wanted to buy some, they can get them here as well.
Sounds good.
Hot sauce challenge. From the first bite to the flames that rise. Experience the thrill that never dies. Oh, call Farbman, you're in for the ride. Feel the fire that's burning inside.
So, how does one become the the chief? I mean, there's a the
Well,
progression from somewhere, right?
I didn't have a plan of action for that. After the fire in 1997, we had the forest fire at Lawless Creek, and it went to 9,000 hectares in September. And then they called in as many people as possible to deal with spot fires and spark watch and stuff like that. I ended up joining that fall, and
As a firefighter.
as a firefighter. Yeah, I didn't have any aspirations to be a firefighter or a fire chief, but after 10 years, it was in 8 years I became a captain, and on the 10th year I got volunteered or voted in as chief, and so 17 years later we're still here, so 27 years.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Ed, he had 30 years of service in the fire department. He retired in 2016. Marg and Ed Reichart are one of the founding members of the Tulameen District Fire Department. They did a lot of the fundraising. They helped build the actual fire hall. They fundraised for the first fire trucks, all that kind of stuff. The Reicharts have started Tulameen. They started the
Right.
community club. They started the fire department. They do concrete. They do septics. They do the Skidoo club. They run the store. They run everything. Like
Yeah.
they're like the
Yeah,
patriarch of the town.
They're the go-to. for
Skidoo
sure.
Can-Am shop there
Super
as well,
people.
so.
And they would give you the shirt off their back.
We're
Any
lucky to
single
have
one
them in
of
that
them.
town for sure.
Wonderful.
Totally.
Super nice people.
Cool. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add?
Well, maybe a shout out to our chief.
Sure.
you know,
Yeah,
so.
and the rest of our members and the community as well. We'd like to give a shout out to for all their support over the years.
Pendejo.